to obey court orders and only challenge the validity of judicial pronouncements through legal processes. The spectre of abductions and extrajudicial killings do not bode well for democracy. Suppression of constitutional freedoms, including speech, expression, assembly, and media, must stop. Furthermore, political parties, being key pillars of democratic participation, must be strengthened. The two leaders resolve to respect the identity and integrity of all political parties and to ensure respect and implementation of the provisions of the Political Parties Act. The dialogue and collaboration between the two leaders shall achieve its objectives by A, holding regular consultations on pressing issues of interest to the people of Kenya, B, exchanging expertise and information on the best practices in governance and of the Republic of Kenya. Let me read that again. Exchanging expertise and information on best practices in the governance of the Republic of Kenya. And the two leaders shall deploy their political infrastructure to examine the above matters and any other issues requiring their attention, and shall engage necessary expertise that will assist them in addressing the matters arising. Signed, His Excellency Dr. William Samoei Ruto, CGH, Party Leader of the UDA, and also to be signed by His Excellency the Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga, EGH, Party Leader of the Orange Democratic Movement, on the 24th day of March 2025.
Let us appreciate the two distinguished senators. And now, before I call my co-MC, may I request that the table be brought here? We have the dates. It's 7th of March. But you'll be able to see it actually. Before I call my co-MC, the majority leader, can I please request that table and seat to be brought here so that the two leaders can be able to come and sign? And now, allow me to hand over the mic to my co-MC, a man I couldn't see eye to eye, but now I'm seeing eye to eye, Kimani Ichung'wah, to take over from there. Thank you very much.
Thank you, my co-MC, Senator Ledama. Your Excellency, as the stage is set, as my co-MC, Senator Ledama, has said, we are here to witness as you and His Excellency Right Honorable Prime Minister Raila Odinga sign this MOU, which forms a framework of how we will work together as the two largest political parties. Your Excellency, as we've been told, you and His Excellency the Prime Minister are leaders of the two largest political parties in the country. That means, Your Excellency, that you also bear a greater responsibility than any other political parties or political leaders in the country. And with that responsibility, Your Excellency, you and Prime Minister are expected to bear the responsibility Thank you, Excellency. Your Excellency, I was saying, because you are leading the two largest political parties in the country, you also bear a greater responsibility to Kenyans and to the world. And part of that great responsibility is to ensure the unity of our country and the prosperity of our country. And as we have heard from the two SGs of the political parties, this will form a framework for the cooperation of you two as leaders of those parties and the unity of our country led by the two political parties, the two largest political parties. Your Excellency, I will be inviting those who will be flanking you and the Prime Minister as we sign, as I also try to buy some time for the Secretariat to get organized a bit. And I will be asking that the leaders who will be flanking you as you sign, I will invite them to stage, and thereafter, after the signing ceremony, we will ask all the leaders that are invited up here to retreat back to their seats, and I will then invite just a few people to speak, led by the chairs of the two political parties. And Your Excellencies, you know that these two largest national political parties, ODM and UDA, are also led and have chairs who are ladies. And that has ensured that even as you've heard from the MOU, as we try to mainstream the 2/3 gender rule, these are the only political parties that have begun the mainstreaming of getting our women leaders mainstreamed in our political leadership. Without much ado, Your Excellency, allow me, since I have the SGs here, to invite the two chairs, Governor, Your Excellency, Governor Gladys Wanga, and Your Excellency Cecily Mbarire, our two chairs. Allow me also to invite the parliamentary leadership. In the Senate, I see the Honorable Ledama already on stage representing Honorable Madzayo. Let me invite Senator Aaron Cheruyot, the leader of the majority in the Senate. I am already on stage, so I will invite the Honorable Junet Mohammed, my compatriot and colleague in the National Assembly. Allow me also to invite the acting party leader of ODM and governor for Kisumu, Professor Anyang' Nyong'o, to the stage. And also invite the deputy party leader and deputy president, Professor Kithure Kindiki, on stage. Once you are all settled, Professor, you go to the other side. Professor Kithure Kindiki, Deputy President, to the right. You can also see these two largest political parties are the only parties with professors in their leadership and have women chairs. It is now my singular honor to invite the Right Honorable Prime Minister, His Excellency Raila Amolo Odinga, Baba wa kila mtu, to stage. Another loud of applause for Baba wa kila mtu. Now finally to invite His Excellency the President of the Republic of Kenya and the party leader of UDA to the stage. The Secretary Generals of the two political parties, you will take the documents and please, you may take your seats. The two SGs, you will show our party leaders the pages to sign. A hand applause to the two party leaders as the two Secretary Generals confirm that they have fully signed together with our legal personnel, Wakili Paul Mwangi and Wakili Kamodho Adrian. I will now invite the two Secretary Generals to display the closed copies of the memorandum that have been signed. Just in front there. You can open the first page, SG. There. Just open the front page and display for a photo session. Front page, front page. Front page. Ask Your Excellencies to be the first to take your seats. Or they sit here. Then if you have no seat, you may take your seats if you have no seat on stage. For those without seats on stage, you may take your seats.
Live from the Kenyatta International Convention Center, where the two leaders, that is former Prime Minister Raila Odinga and President William Ruto, have signed their pact, which sets the stage of how the two leaders will work. You realize that a raft of issues have been mentioned by the Secretary Generals there, that is the SG for ODM, Edwin Sifuna, and the SG UDA, Hassan Umar, where they've mentioned a raft of issues. But before we continue to just tell you a bit of what has transpired there, let's just again cross over back to the KICC to just witness how this is going down there. Watch.
Stability of this country and the prosperity is not the responsibility of a few. It's the responsibility of all of us as a nation. And while we may have different political persuasions and come from different parts of the country, unity. Nobody can fault equity. Nobody can fault not leaving anyone behind. Nobody can fault bringing this entire country together and making everybody in this country feel a part of this country. And that is why today this unity effort is appreciated. And I'd like to state it from my own school of thought, that this unity that you have put together today, Your Excellency and my party leader, is not about the two of you. Because Baba here has seen it all. In fact, he has enough for his and all generations. His Excellency, the President, has sat on all positions. So in my thinking, this unity is for the young people of this country. It's for all of us. It's for the women. It's for the marginalized. It's for those Kenyans who have felt like they have never been part of Kenya because have always been left behind. And let me state in conclusion, as the national chairman of the ODM party, and as I say, the largest party south of Sahara and north of River Limpopo, the ODM party, our party leader, and on behalf of this party, officials and members across the country, all 47 branches, we are behind this unity, we are behind this agreement, we will support it, we will support the broad-based arrangement, na tuko pamoja mpaka mwisho. Asante and God bless Kenya.
Thank you, Governor Wanga. It's now my pleasure to invite my party chair and the governor for Embu, Honorable Sisi Limbarire, on stage.
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya, who is also the party leader of the UDA party, Your Excellency, Right Honorable Prime Minister Raila Amolo Odinga, who is also the party leader of the ODM party, our Deputy President, all protocols observed. It is a great pleasure to be part of this historic event. I want to begin by saying that today we are reminded yet again that the nation will always remain bigger than our individual and party interests. That indeed, at no time will our individual and party interests become more important than those of the nation. I am happy that today, after a lot of rumors in the media, we are not signing an agreement behind closed doors in some private space. I'm also happy that it has taken serious consultations through the party structures to get to where we are. I'm equally happy that we have not signed a document that remains a secret to the people who we represent and who matter most. Today, Kenyans know what we have signed up to. Today, we are not signing to sharing positions. We are signing to issues that affect our people. So, we have today told the people of Kenya that it is not about positions, that actually the issues that have been bedeviling this country are the most critical issues that should bring us together. But more importantly, this signing for me means a lot. Because what does it mean to me? That going forward, we are no longer going to organize our politics at the regional level. We are no longer going to organize our politics at the tribal level. We are going to organize our politics around issues that affect our people. And therefore, this indeed is a great moment. I want to really congratulate the two party leaders, because you could have decided to stick to your hardline positions and decide you are the tough guys, but you realized how important your decisions are to the nation. To the politicians out there who are still stuck to regionalism, we are telling them nationalism is bigger than regionalism. To the leaders out there that believe belonging to the minority means you have no voice, we are telling you today the minority too have a voice in this great nation. To the leaders out there who continue to draw us back to where we come from, we are telling them we are moving forward as one united Kenya. Long live Kenya, long live the ODM party, and long live the UDA party. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Our party chair. It's now my honor to invite the acting party leader of ODM and governor for Kisumu, Professor Anyang' Nyong'o, who I also fondly refer to as old boy, not because he's older than me, but because we went to the same school.
It is called the Alliance High School. For those who do not know. Bwana Yesu asifiwe. Hallelujah. Thank you very much. Your Excellency, the President, William Samoei Ruto, and my party leader, Maritime Odinga. I will not say much. The two ladies have said it all. But there is a Christian saying that goes that once to every man and nation comes a moment to decide. Then it is the brave man chooses while the coward stands aside. Bwana Yesu asifiwe. We see here two brave men who at this point in time in Kenya's history have decided to make an important decision. We must pray for them. It is not going to be easy. Your bed is not made of roses. It is made of thorns. And the thorns are these people here. Not you individually, but you as a collective. Why? Because this decision is going to lead to a lot of demands. Because it might produce results. And those results will not be easy to produce. And therefore I'm saying here that it's us collectively who are present here today to witness this great occasion, to go out there and support the two brave men. Once to every man and nation comes a moment to decide. Then it is the brave man chooses, while the coward stands aside. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Governor Nyong'o. Your Excellencies, that is it in terms of our party chairs and our party leaders, and mine now just to invite our deputy party leader and deputy president to invite you and take over as MC from now onwards. And Your Excellency, as you have been told, this framework for cooperation is a cooperation not just for the unity of our country, but also to synergize our strengths as the two largest political parties in this country and for the prosperity of all the people of Kenya, all without excluding anyone. Thank you very much, and now my honor to invite the Deputy President, the other professor, Professor Kithure Kindiki, who for the record also attended the same school with the governor for Mombasa and the governor for Nairobi.
And Kimani Ichung'wah was in the other school. Your Excellencies, William Ruto and Raila Odinga, my task is to moderate the last and remaining part of this event. As I do that, allow me, Your Excellencies, to say two things. The first is to say I am a proud Kenyan to see what is happening here today, because as other speakers have said, courageous decisions are made by courageous people. Easy and flimsy decisions are made by weak people. And therefore, our coming here to witness this decision is a testament that the future of Kenya looks great, courtesy of the decisions that the two of you have made. The two of you have the largest political infrastructure in our country, by far. Between the two of you, you have the wherewithal, politically speaking, of the entire country. If you were individualistic and selfish, you would have chosen to exercise your muscles, one against the other, on opposite sides of politics. In the process, you may have succeeded in undercutting one another, but in the process, you would have succeeded a great deal in undermining the speed, efficiency of the development of our country. So I thank you, Your Excellencies, for making brave decisions, because not everyone can make those kind of decisions. Many people, even claiming to be leaders, are weak, so they make weak decisions. They make selfish decisions. They make sectarian decisions. They make decisions that only serve to their interest as opposed to the interest of society as a whole. And I dare say, Your Excellencies, that strong leaders think the nation. Weak leaders think division. Congratulations. The second and last point I want to make, Your Excellency, again, is the remarkable convergence of ideology that I see in the coming together of ODM and UDA. I have listened carefully to the joint script that was read by the two Secretary Generals, very carefully. In between, I can confirm, as a long-standing student of constitutional law, practice, and government, that between the two parties, because I could see the language from ODM, the language from UDA, the issues raised here, which we pray under your leadership jointly, you'll help us pursue them as a country. Those issues will resolve the things that have held Kenya back all this long. And therefore, those who have spent time, years, decades investing in division, investing in negative ethnicity, investing in parochial and petty dreams, their journey has come to an end. I want to thank you, Your Excellencies. We wish you well, and I know I speak on behalf of all my colleagues from both ODM and UDA. We wish you well, because if you succeed in leading us, Kenya will succeed. And therefore, I am happy, Your Excellency, and allow me now, so that we climax this event with two speeches. And I'm going to invite the first speaker, Your Excellency, Raila Odinga. Welcome, Your Excellency.
Hi. You may be seated. Thank you very much. Your Excellency, President William Ruto, who is also the party leader of UDA, leaders of the two political parties, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Jambo. The ODM people here. ODM. 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 You see, wako tayari. Well, I'm very happy to stand before you here this morning to talk to you after a long period of absence. As you know, that in the last 6 months, I've been engaged in the campaign on the continental platform for the position of the chair of the African Union. Some people ask me, why did I decide to run for that position? And I say that I was approached by senior leaders on the continent who, when they saw that that position was becoming vacant, they needed somebody with a Pan-Africanist ideology to go and try to set that movement in the right path so that it can achieve the objectives for which the founding fathers formed it. So they then sent the former Nigerian president, President Obasanjo, to me to come and persuade me to run. And after a lot of soul searching, I made a decision. And some of you will have seen me with President Obasanjo on my side when I announced that I was going to run for the position of African Union chair. I did not expect to be supported by the Kenya government. But out of blues, President Ruto announced that he will support my candidature. Yes, I thought this is a better way to get rid of him. Good riddance. I would say that, in respect of the motives, he actually was genuine because he followed that announcement by giving full support to my candidature. As you know, you cannot run for the chair of African Union without being sponsored by your home government. You cannot just sit somewhere there and say, Mimi ni Professor Kitui Kindiki, I want to be a chairman of African Union. You will not even be seen. Your name must be presented by a government official through the embassy of Kenya in Addis Ababa. And this they did. Not only that, they put also the machinery behind my campaign. And Mr. President Ruto himself called various presidents and made appointments for me and also persuaded them to support my candidature. He himself invited the president from East Africa here in Nairobi to basically adopt me as a candidate for the Eastern region. And this they did. So Kenyan ambassadors in all those foreign countries were also informed and that they would support my candidature. And whenever I went to, they received me at the airport, took me to the hotels, and also took me to meet with the president. I was able to meet more than 40 presidents of the continent. And I traveled Africa from east to west, south to north, like never before. As you know that I have been the high representative of the AU on issues of infrastructure. So I'm not actually strange to these issues, to the continent. But it gave me a better opportunity to now understand problems facing many African countries firsthand from the leadership of the continent. As you know that our continent has suffered seriously from innovations from outside. First was the slave trade that took so many of able manpower across the shores to go and work in the building of Americas, both North America and South America. Some were taken to Arabia, some were incarcerated there and died there. So that was the first. Then came colonialism, where they went and set somewhere in Berlin and partitioned Africa. According to their interests, British, French, Italian, Portuguese, and so on and so forth. So Africa has suffered seriously. That was colonialism. Then when Africans fought for independence, they granted it, but it was a flag. But then there was also neo-colonialism that came about, and Africa has continued to be marginalized. So I saw this and came up with a program of how we were going to deal with these issues. We campaigned strongly, and we went to Addis Ababa quite confident of victory. Before I went there, the women here, Orange women in Nairobi, organized a prayer meeting for me in the Bomas of Kenya. And they prayed for my success. And I told them that they were only going to do two outcomes in Addis. One, we would win, in which case we would have succeeded. The other one, we would lose, but we would also have succeeded. Because I told them why? We will come back home. So east and or west, home is? So we are here. So when I came back, I went to meet with the president in Mombasa to thank him for the support that the government had given me during that campaign. And he was, of course, very gracious. And at that time, I found when the two teams from the parties had worked out on some documents that they wanted to be signed, I told him I cannot sign this document until I've consulted our people, my people. So I took time. From that time, I went to Kisumu. I met with the professor. I met with leadership and elders in Kisumu. I went to Siaya. I went to Migori. I went to Homa Bay. I went to Busia, where I met with all the leadership from all the 5 counties to Western. Then I went to the coast. I was in Mombasa. I was in Malindi, in Kilifi. I was in Kwale. I came back. I went to Wajir. I came back. Yesterday I was in Kisii. I was in Narok. I was in Nairobi, here in this same building here with leadership of Nairobi. That is what you call random sampling. I think I managed to get the feeling of my people, my supporters. And that's the reason why I am today able and confident to sign this document. So I want to say this, I want to note. Today, we have signed a memorandum of understanding between Orange Democratic Movement and the United Democratic Alliance. The cardinal goal of the MOU is to help ease the prevailing tensions in the country, reconcile the population, alleviate their suffering, and move the country forward by addressing the critical social, political, and economic issues our people are grappling with today. As leaders of the largest political parties in the country, we arrived at the understanding that in a time of significant changes and challenges to our nation, it is not enough to merely grandstand or stand aside and criticize, easy as those may be. They say, any madman can kick down a barn, but it takes a good carpenter to build one. We have agreed to help build a barn for our country, rather than merely kick down what we have. We have agreed to use our parties as a broad platform, bringing together various voices, opinions, and concerns to address the critical challenges facing the country through a formation that is truly national and inclusive in outlook. A core problem we agreed to prioritize is youth unemployment and resulting hopelessness that has made them easy fodder in political contests in which there is nothing tangible for them. In this MOU, we agree to embark on steps to realign the country's economic, social, and political priorities to address the youth agenda that has progressively fallen behind in the last 62 years of our independence. Through this MOU, we commit to uphold the Constitution, the rule of law, and respect for human rights. Importantly, we pledge to tackle unemployment, cost of living, crippling poverty, inequality, and the failure of the institutions that have been eroded by inefficiency and corruption over the decades, making them unable to deliver to Kenyans. We seek a more equitable country in which all peoples of all backgrounds are included in the enjoyment of socio-economic benefits and are equal members of one indivisible nation. All Kenyans must feel that they belong here by right and the right to access, without any form of discrimination, whatever Kenya has to offer. We commit to protect and to strengthen devolution as a machinery for ensuring a more inclusive development across the country. In this regard, we will be tabling a proposal that the unbundling of functions that has been recently concluded, counties should get not less than 450 billion shillings in the 2025-2026 financial year. We will also seek the faithful flow of funds to political parties, being vehicles for the channeling of hopes and aspirations of the people. We will use this platform to revisit the constitutional provisions on leadership and integrity, corruption in public life, fundamental freedoms like free speech, protest and assembly, and preservation of the rule of law. We recognize that many of the issues this country is struggling with are as old as the country itself. It will take mutual trust between leaders and the creation of a conducive environment for them to be tackled with honesty and objectivity in a broadly constituted formation. As leaders of and our parties, we commit to hold regular consultations on pressing issues, exchange expertise and information on the best practices in the governance of the Republic of Kenya, and facilitate and participate in public activities of interest to the people of Kenya that relate to their problems. We make it clear that the memorandum we have signed today does not define the formation of a political coalition between ODM and UDA. However, its successful implementation could inform the basis of steps toward the establishment of a broadly constitutive and progressive formation for a stable country in future. We urge all Kenyans who are interested in having a stable, inclusive, and progressive country, devoid of grandstanding and alienation of whole communities and regions, to rally behind this formation in the interest of our nation. God bless Kenya. Thank you. It's my pleasure now to invite my brother, William Samoei Ruto, to come, the party leader of UDA.
Thank you very much, the Honorable Prime Minister, and please let's take our seats. Your Excellency, Raila Amolo Odinga, Prime Minister of Kenya and party leader of my former party. Your Excellency, the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, Excellencies, leaders of both UDA and ODM, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Hamjambo. I want to associate myself with the comments that have already been made by my elder brother, Raila Odinga, on the journey that we have come as our two political formations. When His Excellency Raila Odinga decided to run for the position of Africa Union Commission Chair, it was obvious to me that, number one, as a citizen of this country, I owed him support. And it was also clear to me that knowing him as a Pan-Africanist, as a leader with experience, and that he had immense understanding of issues Africa, he qualified for not just my support, but that of the government of Kenya. And that is why we went out of our way to support his candidature. As he has said, there were many propositions about his candidature. There are those who said my support for Raila Odinga was so that I could exit him from the stage. But there are those also who told me that by supporting the Honorable Raila Odinga and by him being the chair of Africa Union, I will be empowering him so that he can come and compete with me. And I had a very clear answer to them that my support for Raila Odinga is not conditioned on him supporting me or him surrendering his aspirations for whatever reason. It was very clear to me that this support was deserved as a Kenyan. And I said then, and I will say again, that the Honorable Raila Odinga was a great candidate. He went out of his way. He ran a beautiful campaign, and I am very proud of his candidature. The outcome notwithstanding. And when he came back, we have been working together in the broad-based arrangement that we have that is inspired not by what is in it for me or him, but how we can close ranks and deal with the issues that affect the people of Kenya. And that brings us to this moment. And I must congratulate the Honorable Raila Odinga and the ODM party for their boldness and courage to take the position for Kenya and for the people of Kenya. That to me is a very bold decision. It's a very courageous decision. It may not be a popular decision, but that does not undermine the fact that it is the right decision to stand with the people of Kenya. And allow me to say that our country is undergoing major shifts across socioeconomic and political spheres. Many of these transformations are occurring within the broader context of globalization and unprecedented technological, geopolitical, climatic, and demographic changes, creating an atmosphere of immense pressure, formidable challenges, and even an existential crisis. Never before have Kenyans expressed such a deep and widespread yearning for positive change and political, economic, and socio-economic transformation that leaves nobody, no community, no region, no religion behind. The expectation for fundamental progress is unanimous, consistent, intense, and universal across the nation. There is no one part of Kenya that does not yearn for progress and transformation. These aspirations, grounded on our nation's enduring character of boldly pursuing freedom, democratically managing our diverse interests, and engaging progressive institutions such as a clear notice for all of us that the time has come for us to seize this historic opportunity unite more strongly than ever before, and deliver meaningful change to the Kenyan people. We undertake this commitment with the understanding that while our political parties may differ in strategy, we share a common goal: to build a united, secure, and prosperous Kenya under a government that is capable, committed, and willing to ensure abundance and opportunity for all without exception. This realization has enabled Kenya's largest political movements to engage constructively, recognizing the unique opportunity before us. As leaders and as a generation of citizens, we must embark on a bold and radical path of national transformation, confronting and resolving the fundamental issues that have shaped every national crisis since independence. And we have had an able listing of what this is. This is the path towards the promised land where freedom and opportunity are guaranteed for all. We recognize that this moment is unlike any other. It is not enough to merely identify systemic and structural obstacles that have denied generations a fair chance to achieve their aspirations. More importantly, we must rise above political differences and embrace a higher vision of the Kenya we all deserve. Understanding, therefore, that jobs, wealth, enterprise opportunities, and social services must be provided within an environment that is free, open, democratic, and competitive, we move forward with a shared commitment that is not only doing the right thing for our nation, but also to ensuring they are done right. We, the leaders of UDA, Kenya Kwanza, and ODM, commit to implementing the NADCO report to address key national issues, including the cost of living, youth unemployment, and gender inclusion. We also pledge to foster inclusivity in governance and development, protect and strengthen devolution, invest in creating opportunities for the youth, uphold integrity in leadership, and safeguard the right to peaceful assembly. We will raise and manage national resources responsibly to reduce our debt burden by ensuring transparency, responsible borrowing, and an audit of past debts. To realize and to know what has been borrowed, for what purpose, and how is it going to be paid. I attempted to set up this audit. It didn't work. I am confident that under this broad formation, we will now be able to audit our debts. This moment is not about William Ruto or Raila Odinga. This agreement, this memorandum of understanding, is not about sharing positions or winning elections. It is about the people and the interests of Kenya. That is what is significant. To me, the interests of this great nation. We have talked about Kenya of potential for far too long. It is now time that we close ranks as leaders, because this nation can succeed. We have what it takes to be a great nation. But we haven't made the steps and the decisions that would make this nation great, because we have always been making politically correct decisions. We need to make decisions that are correct as far as the interests of the people of Kenya are concerned. I must congratulate His Excellency, the Right Honorable Prime Minister Raila Odinga, and the courage he has to make difficult decisions. Not many leaders can make the kind of decisions the Right Honorable Raila Odinga can make. Very few people can put the interests of the nation and the interests of the people above or ahead of their own personal interests. I say that without fear of any contradiction, because I know the kind of difficulty my elder brother has got to go through in getting us to this position. And my brother Raila Odinga, history is going to charge you fairly for what you have done for this nation. Immediately after the elections, several months after the elections, I called my brother and I told him, you have been my party leader. You have been my senior. Today, by God's grace, I'm president. I want you to be treated well. And I will do whatever it takes to make sure that you have respect in Kenya. And I am not doing this so that for any other reason that is selfish to me. I am doing this because I'm a younger person. You are an elder as far as I'm concerned, by age. And the contribution you have made to this Kenya deserves respect and deserves support. And that is the relationship I have built with the Honorable Raila Odinga. And I am very clear in my mind that going into the future, it will take more than Raila Odinga and myself. It will take every one of us to pull this country together and to achieve the things that will change Kenya for the better. Let me say this, that equally, we will fight corruption decisively, eliminate public resource wastage, and uphold the rule of law and constitutionalism, ensuring that government officials respect judicial decisions and protect the rights of all citizens. Our collective goal is a just, equitable, and prosperous Kenya for all of us. Thank you very much to all of you. May God bless our great country, Kenya. Asanteni sana.
Another round of applause for the principals, please, as I seek your indulgence, Your Excellencies, for a quick photo opportunity. If we can kindly just move the tables, if you'll just give us a minute to move the tables, we'll have a quick photo opportunity, starting with the two principals. If I can kindly request we just move slightly because of the flags, so that we are in the middle of the flags. Right there, Your Excellencies. Thank you. The second photo will have the party chairs and the Secretary Generals to kindly join in. The party chairs and the Secretary Generals to join in. Then on standby, We'll have the deputy party leaders after this to join in the same photo. The deputy party leaders, and the last photo will have the parliamentary leadership to join in the photo. Hey. After this, we're going to have the... Kindly, let's take our seats. Those of us who are in the auditorium, let's take our seats. The parliamentary leadership will be the last photo that we'll take after this. All right, and due to pressure, governors present. There is a lot of pressure for governors to join, so we can have maybe the parliamentary leadership to leave the chairs and the secretary generals, and we have the governors to join. So we can have just the principals, the party chairs, and the deputy party chairs, then the governors. This will be the final photo. And with that, Your Excellencies, we now come to the end of this session. I'll request that we all be upstanding, but remain where you are. You need to be addressed after, as we allow the principals to leave. Please maintain your position. We have a short address after the principals have left, and you are requested to kindly stay put.
That is what has happened live from the Kenyatta International Convention Center, where the two leaders have already inked a deal of what sets the stage of how the two parties will work. That is Raila Odinga and President William Ruto. Of course, this just was preceded by the reading of that memorandum of understanding by the two Secretary Generals, that is Hassan Omar of UDA and Edwin Sifuna of ODM, where it had a raft of issues among them: implementation of the NADCO report, issues of inclusivity, corruption, national debt, right to peaceably demonstrate. These are just some of the issues that have come to the fore in regards to this signing of that deal. But also, Raila Odinga has reiterated that this is not a formation of a political coalition between ODM and UDA. We wait to see what will follow after the signing of this particular deal. Back to studio. Let's inform you of what has been shaping the news this afternoon. I'm Doreen Arange. Lucy Mora is our sign language interpreter. Very quickly, President William Ruto chaired the Kenya Kwanza parliamentary group meeting. This was just minutes before the signing of a working partnership with Raila Odinga. The president, while explaining the import of the alliance with the opposition, said this is the time to put Kenya and the people ahead of any other consideration. The president said Kenya Kwanza will work together with other like-minded political parties to take the country forward. President Ruto and ODM leader Raila Odinga have already signed that particular deal at KICC, granting ODM a near equal share of government. All right, before we continue informing you of the other stories we have lined up for you this afternoon, just a quick recap of what has been happening or what took place at the Kenyatta International Convention Center. This is, of course, following that signing of that deal between the ODM leader Raila Odinga and the president, Dr. William Ruto, that sets the stage of how the two parties are set to work. Key issues that came to the fore included the implementation of the NADCO report. Also, matters that were read by the two SGs included the proper inclusivity and also matters of corruption, as well as leadership and integrity. But also, it's very important to just hear what Kenyans had to say or have to say in regards to this signing of this deal. And very quickly, we turn the crowd to Kisumu County, where our very own Weekly for Ketch is there. Ketch, what are Kenyans saying? What is their reception in regards to this pact between Raila Odinga and William Ruto?
Well, thank you so much, Doreen Arange, back in Nairobi. Like you said, Kenyans were waiting for this particular announcement with the bated breath. Like you said, the ODM leader has been holding consultations across the country, like he mentioned himself, that he started all this with Kisumu, going all the way to Kitui, and yesterday he was in Nairobi as well. And for now, I'm going to join some of the political thought leaders right at the center of let's say the Kisumu city, starting with you, Bwana Obungu. Look into the camera. I'm so sure you've been following this very keenly, and you've heard everything that the two political parties representatives have spoken about. What is your reaction to this?
On behalf of the great people of Kisumu County and the Kenya Bunge la Wananchi Caucus, as their president, I want to congratulate His Excellency President William Samoei Ruto and Prime Minister Raila Amolo Odinga for putting the interests of the country forward. We want to believe that whatever they have done, because I've taken my time and listened very carefully as the two leaders read their statements based on what they agreed upon. We, the people, we are very happy because they have addressed three key concerns. First is matters touching on social, economic and political welfare of this country. Therefore, on behalf of the people and the Bunge la Wananchi, we want to say that we want to give them that support so that they can proceed on with the interest of building this country together. As I finish, I want to tell them that matters touching on health, particularly the SHA, has been a problem. But I've had Raila Amolo Odinga talk about it. The matters touching on abductions, we have also had the two leaders talk about it. The matters touching on the compensation for the victims of the police brutalities, we have also had them talk about that. Historical injustices and how they are going to address it. The matters touching on corruption and any matter touching on the youth unemployment, we have had them talk about that. We want to believe that they have put the interests of the country forward and all that they have promised us is good. Lastly, we want to say that this is the only opportunity that we want to benefit from. We want a leadership that is all-inclusive, a leadership that focuses about the young, the old, the PWDs, and all the population of this country. A leadership that does not preaches tribalism. We want a leadership that focuses on the diversity of this country and the interests of the Kenyan people at large. On behalf of the Bunge, we want to say that we also want to be given an opportunity to also get something that can take us forward, because we have been in this struggle for quite longer. Thank you, and may God bless you.
Thank you so much, brother. Doreen, very lastly, I have also one more. Alfayo Ngoro. There has been some sort of concern that the coming together of Raila Odinga and His Excellency the President, that is President William Ruto, it leaves the electorate on the sideline. What's your reaction to this particular narrative? I'll hold it for you, just look into the camera.
Thank you very much. This is Alfayo Ngoro speaking on behalf of Kenya, on behalf of the people of Kisumu and the entire Moroni constituency and the Chemelil Tamu ward where I represent, or where I'll represent come 2027.
Tell us about your reaction to this
My reaction about this pact with William Ruto and His Excellency Raila Amolo Odinga. We are very much grateful about this reaction, because definitely we want a government of inclusivity. That is number one. As concerned with the people of Kisumu, we are so much happy with this inclusivity, because number two, we don't want regional politics. We want a broad-based government whereby all of us shall be included for the purpose of the benefit of this country. And thirdly to that, what we want to say that we want to support Raila Amolo Odinga, we want to support the president and the entire leadership of ODM and the entire leadership of the Oda fraternity. Actually, we are very, very much happy with this with this coalition that is formed and that is signed by His Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga. And I want to say this in particular, that we shall never play political of tribal politics. And that is why we are saying, as much as you can see the Azimio coalition is not brought on board, I want to tell you that in this government we must have an opposition. Let them stand on the side of the opposition to make sure the government is checked, to make sure the government is put on toes, to deliberate on to the matters that is affecting the common mwananchi. Thank you very much.
All right. And before I let you go, just one more question here. You find that in terms of checks and balances, oversight role, a section of Kenyans has been arguing that they're coming together. Now, the oversight role is weakened. Do you hold the same?
Not really. It's not all that weakened. That is the reason why we have the opposition. We have the Kalonzo Musyoka to counter-check the government. We have the likes of Martha Karua. They are also coming together in form of opposition to counter-check the government in terms of checks and balances. I'm telling you that this is the opportunity that services will be rendered to the common mwananchi at the level of the grassroots level.
Yes, Doreen, that is just some of the voices from Kisumu speaking to this pact that has just been signed between the ODM party and the ruling UDA party, that a pact that is expected actually to front a united front in terms of addressing the social, political and economic upheavals that are derailing the country in terms of development. Well, that is it from this end. Of course, this is not the end of it all at this point. I will continue engaging some of the residents from Kisumu and also sample just their views for bulletins in the evening. But unless you have a question, it is back to you, Doreen.
Wycliffe Okech for that, and also for just letting us know where this puts the question of oversight, given now we are seeing these two large parties, if you may, coming together. Nonetheless, those are just the reactions from Kisumu County. Really had much of inclusivity and being brought on board, being reiterated there by the residents of Kisumu County. Thank you so much, Wycliffe Okech, for that. All right, let's now continue to inform you into some health matters now. The high number of men testing positive for prostate cancer in Mwingi West Sub-County in Kitui County is raising a lot of concern among men. During a medical camp organized by Kitui County Department of Health in partnership with African Medical Research Foundation, AMREF, Mwingi West Sub-County Public Health Officer Joseph Kimwele revealed that 4 out of every 10 men are diagnosed with the disease. Kimwele emphasized the importance of early screening, noting that those with early signs of prostate cancer are being referred to level 4 hospitals for treatment and specialized care. The beneficiaries lauded the free medical camp, saying it had eased the burden of walking long distances for medical assistance.
Katika ile overall population ambayo tumepima, especially cancer, na naongea like prostate cancer, it is like out of every 10 men, unakuta 4 they are suggestive, kwa sababu tunatumia RDT ambayo tunaita PSA.
Nimeshukuru sana kwa kuona hao watu wamekuja waamere kusaidia watu, wametibiwa hapa, kila mtu ameenda akiwa sawa kwa kila kitu.
Ningewahimiza pia waweze kutembea sehemu zingine mbalimbali ili waweze kusaidia wananchi.
And the county government of Kilifi has launched a fully equipped modern radiology unit that will offer healthcare services at subsidized rates to patients. The new unit is expected to enhance the quality of healthcare services by offering the much needed diagnostic capabilities and cheaper services to residents. Speaking during the launch of the County Executive Committee member for Health, Peter Mwarogo said that the new machine has the can to attend to more than 30 patients in a day. He added that more than 200 patients from Kilifi, Tana River and Lamu counties have already benefited from its services since its inception a week ago.
Katika private hospitals CT scan zetu zimekuwa ni 9,000 mpaka 11,000. Na kama nilivyosema kwamba hizo ni mashine ambazo pia ni za chini. 16 slice ndio the highest ambao tuko nao hapa Kilifi katika private hospitals, ambao wale madaktari wengi wamekuwa wakilalamika kwamba zile images wanazopata haziwatoshelezi kufanya ile diagnosis wanaotaka. Hivi sasa hata wale walikuwa wakienda kule private hospitals sasa wanakuja hapa. Kwa hivyo kuna msururu wa watu ambao wanangoja hizi services. Ni kama watu walikuwa wanazikosa. Kwa hivyo hii ni huduma moja muhimu sana ambao tutakuwa tunapeana kwa watu wa kazi wa Kilifi.
Tulikuwa tunapata shida. Tulitaka CT scan mpaka tuende Malindi. Na saa ingine mgonjwa anakuwa na hali mbaya kiasi afike Malindi, mgonjwa amefariki njiani.
All right, keeping up with the lead story today, very quickly looking at what is happening at the Kenyatta International Convention Center. I understand that celebrations, jubilations is what is being experienced there. Of course, this follows that signing of the ODM UDA merger. You are seeing Wilson Sosion there looking like he's addressing, but you realize a number of things have come to the fore. The two Secretary Generals just reading out a raft of issues entailed in this memorandum of understanding. You've heard of issues of national debt, corruption have come to the fore, inclusivity, as well as rights to peaceably demonstrate, being some of those issues that have been mentioned by Secretary General of ODM, Edwin Sifuna, and the one of UDA, that is Hassan Omar. You've also just had some various reactions from Kenyans across board. You've had what residents in Kisumu are saying, that this indeed is a chance for inclusivity. What you're also seeing, just there are some leaders looking like they're posing for a photo at the steps of the Kenyatta International Convention Center. But equally, we're just really asking, what does this mean for Kenyans? What does this mean for you and I? You've also heard Raila Odinga saying that this is not a political coalition, so to speak, but then again, just setting the stage, setting the pace for how these two large parties in the country will work together. That is the ODM and the UDA party. Really, you realize also this just comes after moments and times that you did hear Raila Odinga saying that he was consulting, and not just consulting, but consulting widely before he could come up with a decision, before he could, just give an address of what those consultations would look like. And clearly, the consultations have borne the fruits of what you're now seeing, that UDA-ODM Pact signing between these two parties. But clearly that is just really what is coming to the fore. That is actually the lead story, the biggest story today. We are tracking more of what is coming out from that, especially in regards to reactions, more of what Kenyans have to say in regards to this particular pact. And this is not the first time you're seeing ODM signing a pact. We also did see that with the handshake during the time of former President Uhuru Kenyatta in 2018. Now we are seeing this in 2025, just being called the UDA-ODM Pact. And you also did see what happened before with the broad-based government, but also you had William Ruto saying that this now strengthens that broad-based government. So clearly much of what we're really tracking is just more reactions after this, because that's already happened. So what really are Kenyans saying in regards to this? That is also part of what we are tracking for you, and largely from what has come out from the Kenyatta International Convention Center. That is our biggest story today, and we're keeping track for you on that. Again, back to what has been shaping the news this afternoon. Again, mining, blue economy and maritime affairs. Cabinet Secretary Hassan Joho has ordered the immediate halt of mining operations at all mining sites in the Jaribuni area in Kauma Sub-County, Kilifi County, after residents protested about health hazards. Joho, who met with mining investors at Kilifi Governor's residence, emphasized that mining companies must comply with mining regulations, contribute to community development, and address environmental concerns before resuming operations. Kilifi Governor Gideon Mung'aro also stressed the need to protect communities living near mining sites to prevent catastrophes.
I will send here the Secretary for Mines atakuja as early as it is possible. Governor, county commissioner, MCAs, MPs, community leaders, mukae, mudai haki. The mining secretary will come and tabulate for you. Awaambie mnawadai hawa jamaa mpesa ngapi. Waseme vile watalipa. Then you will advise me, I will lift the suspension. But the notice will follow. But for now, no mining in that area.
Residents of Soroko in Lamu West constituency are embroiled in a land ownership dispute, with the locals expressing concerns about alleged harassment and intimidation from newcomers asserting ownership of their land. The situation has left the community in distress as they fear losing land they have occupied for over 2 decades. According to the residents, the newcomers have been aggressively asserting ownership of the land, threatening their lives and forcing them to vacate the area. They're now pointing fingers at the area's assistant chief, Nahashon Nyaga, for colluding with brokers to enable the illegal acquisition and sale of the land, leaving the rightful owners exposed and dispossessed.
Huyo subchief mwenye anamsema anajiita Nahashon Nyaga alikuja huku, tulikuwa tunamuona akaanza boda paka dakika mwisho tunamuona ndio amekuwa subchief. Sahi amekuwa hutoa wageni kutoka huko akawaleta huku kuwakabidhi mashamba ambayo tayari ya watu wamekaa.
Badala ya kushikana na kutafuta haki kuwapatia wananchi wake, amekuwa ndio mstari wa kwanza, mstari wa mbele katika kuwanyanyasa watu wakazi wa huku kukosa haki zao.
Sisi tumefuatilia mambo ya mashamba. Tumeenda kwa NRC. Juzi tumekutana na National Land Director. Tumeambiwa wanakuja on the ground, lakini inaendelea kuchukua muda. Tunashindwa, serikali inafanya nini?
Kwa hivyo serikali watuhurumie, watupe makao yetu.
Again, let's turn the clock back to the Kenyatta International Convention Center. Like I told you, we're really picking a lot of reactions from Kenyans as well as leaders from various quarters in regards to this pact, what it means for Kenyans, what it means for you and I. And I understand that the Nairobi Governor, Johnson Sakaja, is currently speaking at KICC. Watch. That is Nairobi Governor Johnson Sakaja. Right next to him, you're seeing Raila Odinga. He's definitely addressing probably the Kenyans who are there, as well as various other leaders. This is just in regards to that pact. All right, let's just listen to Governor Sakaja there.
Wangapi wanataka kusikia Rais Ruto? Your Excellency, Excellency, kwa haraka, tuko na viongozi wengi ambao wako hapa leo hii. Tuko na magavana, tuko na maseneta, tuko na wabunge, lakini zaidi tuko na wananchi ambao wamejazwa na furaha. Wananchi hao wamejazwa na furaha kwa sababu wanajua nchi yetu inahitaji umoja. Si ndio hiyo? Leo mmemaliza siasa za ukabila kwa kuja pamoja kwa ODM na UDA kukubaliana kufanya kazi pamoja. Tunataka Wakenya wote wawe kitu kimoja. Si ndio hiyo? Wangapi wanataka umoja ya Kenya yetu? Mnataka umoja uendelee namna hiyo? Kabisa. So bila kuchukua wakati mwingi, we want to congratulate you for the bold move that you have taken, Baba, and that you have taken Rais William Ruto. Nairobi ndio headquarter ya broad-based government. Sisi tayari tulikuwa tumeanza kufanya pamoja na leo tumefurahia sana. Nataka kuchukua nafasi hii. Nataka mjitayarishe. Sawa sawa? Mnataka kusikia Baba? Mko tayari kusikia Baba? Nataka tumpigie makofi baba Raila Amolo Odinga. Haya. Vijana hoye! Vijana hoye! Nairobi hoye! Asanteni vijana. 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 Tafadhali kae kimya hapa. Kae kimya hapa, kae kimya hapa. Kae kimya hapa. Kae kimya hapa. Muna furaha. Jana nilikuwa na mkutano hapa. Vijana walikuwa wamejaa chungu mzima, lakini niliwaambia sitaongea na nyinyi jana. Nilisema nitangoja mpaka kesho, sio? Hayawi. Imekuwa sasa. Leo tumeweka sahihi kwa mkataba ya kuleta ulewano, ya kuleta amani, ya kupigana na maadui ya Wakenya wote: ugonjwa, ujinga, umaskini na utawala mbaya, kidhuluma na kimabavu. Sawa. Mara hii tutatembea pamoja. Tumesema tunataka kuunganisha Wakenya wote wawe kama kitu kimoja, ili vijana waweze kupata ajira, gharama maisha irudi chini, bei ya unga irudi chini, kodi ya nyumba irudi chini. Sawa. Na matibabu vile vile imarishwe. Yale yote tuko tayari kushirikiana na serikali ili ifanyike kwa Wakenya wote pamoja. Kwa sababu haya ndio tumeweka sahihi siku ya leo. Sawa. ODM. Waje Bwana Ruto asalimu nyinyi.
Aya. Nairobi hoye! Nairobi hoye! Nairobi, assalamu alaikum. Bwana asifiwe. Hebu nione kwa mkono watu wa Nairobi, nione watu wa Nairobi. Vile baba amesema, hayawi. Leo ni ile siku. Leo ni ile siku ya kumalizana na ukabila, kumalizana na chuki, kuondoa ubaguzi na kuunganisha Wakenya wote. Mimi nataka niwaulize wangwana wa Nairobi. Leo mimi na baba tumeweka sahihi maelewano ya kuunganisha taifa la Kenya iwe taifa moja. Tulete jamii zote za Kenya pamoja, dini zote za Kenya pamoja, sehemu zote za Kenya pamoja. Na wauliza watu wa Nairobi, munasema tuungane ama tutengane? Tuungane ama tutengane? Wale wanasema tuungane, jameni, nione kwa mkono. Mimi nataka niwaeleze, nimshukuru ndugu yangu mkubwa Raila Amolo Odinga kwa kunishika mkono na kuunganisha Kenya mzima, anisaidie kuweka Kenya pamoja, ndio tuweze kwa pamoja tukabiliane na changamoto za taifa letu la Kenya, tuweze kutekeleza mipango ya kilimo ili tupunguze gharama ya chakula na tupunguze gharama ya maisha. Tuungane, tutekeleze ile mipango ambayo itapatia vijana wa Kenya ajira. Tuondoe matatizo ya vijana wa taifa letu la Kenya. Tuungane, tuondoe ukabila katika uongozi wa taifa letu la Kenya. Ndio Kenya iunganike na tuweze kusukuma gurudumu ya kupeleka Kenya yetu mbele. Mimi nawashukuru viongozi wale wengine wote ambao tumekubaliana ya kwamba tunatembea pamoja. Na wauliza ndugu zangu, ile mkataba tumeweka sahihi hapa leo sio kwa manufaa ya mtu binafsi, sio kwa manufaa ya Raila Odinga ama William Ruto, ni kwa sababu ya manufaa na interest ya vijana wa Kenya, kina mama wa Kenya, watu wote wa Kenya, tuweze kutembea pamoja, tuishi katika nchi yenye haina ubaguzi, tuishi kwenye nchi yenye iko na umoja, na tukabiliana changamoto za Kenya, tupige hatua ya kwenda mbele kwa pamoja. Ndio leo jameni, tunakuja mbele yenu kuuliza ruhusa yenu. Watu wa Nairobi, mumekubali tuungane, tushirikiane, tufanye kazi kwa pamoja? Hebu nione wale wanasema tumekubaliana, tuungane, tuungane, tuungane. Kwa hivyo asanteni sana. Leo tukisonga mbele, hii ni mkataba na makubaliano na ushirikiano wa kihistoria wa kuunganisha Kenya, ili yale mambo ambayo tumetafuta kuyatekeleza na kubadilisha nchi yetu yawezekane, ndio tuweze kupiga hatua ya kwenda mbele kama taifa. Asanteni sana, tunawapenda Kanairo. Tumekubaliana ya kwamba wiki ijayo kuanzia Jumatatu tutaenda katika miradi ya Nairobi County. Kuanzia ile Nairobi Rivers Commission tunaanza pale Jumatatu, tusafishe Nairobi, tusafishe Nairobi River na tuhakikisha kwamba tunawapanga ajira vijana wa Nairobi. Asanteni sana, tunawapenda sana, tunawatakia baraka ya Mungu. Thank you very much.
William Ruto there, and ODM leader Raila Odinga just finished addressing a section of Nairobi residents. You really have seen the jubilation and excitement from, that section of Nairobi residents, that this is in regards to that signing of that pact, that memorandum of understanding, which they say is now setting the stage forward of how the two parties will work together and by extension resolve the social, economic issues ailing the country. That has been happening at the Kenyatta International Convention Center. Back to studio. You had the president talk about Nairobi River, and now for long, the Nairobi's river have been toxic streams of waste. However, for some residents living along the rivers, hope is flowing again thanks to a government-backed initiative. Jobless youth in these neighborhoods are not only cleaning up their environment, but are also earning a living and giving the river a second chance. Alvin Kaunda, our reporter, visited the area and filed the following report.
For years, Nairobi's rivers have choked under a mountain of plastic, sewage and industrial waste. Once vibrant lifelines that supported thousands of people, these waterways have become toxic streams, forgotten and neglected. But in the heart of Korogocho and Kamkunji, something powerful is happening. A government-backed initiative is leading a monumental effort to clean up rivers in Nairobi, and at the forefront of this battle are the youth, young men and women, once marginalized and jobless, now stepping up to reclaim their future and that of the river.
Hii river ikibomolewa, kuna wengine waliona wametupwa. Hata sisi tukalala nje na familia zetu, lakini kumbe ilikuwa na manufaa kwa rais. hatukuja tutapata kazi.
Tumesaidika sana na hii climate works as youth. We are very happy. Tuko busy, tumekuwa busy sana. So hakuna idlers, vitu za drugs, vijana wanaacha juu wako busy huku kazi.
The initiative offers them not just a chance to restore the environment, but also to earn a living, gain skills, and play an active role in the transformation of their communities.
This park used to be hosting bad vices like mugging, prostitution, illicit brew, drug abuse.
Tungependa kuingia hapa kwa maji, tuisafishe, ikuwe safi, lakini sio safi sana. Hatuwezi ingia bila gumboots, the gloves, the protectors, things like the reflectors are not enough. So tukiweza saidiwa na vitu kama hizo, we can be ahead.
But this initiative is more than just about cleanup. It's about empowerment, about providing these youth with skills, training, a sense of purpose in a city where opportunity is often out of reach.
It has employed 22,000 youths as of today. That is the three main levers. But now, as we transit into the next phase of river regeneration, which will involve actual engineering works, that will involve widening of the river, deepening of the river, we will do a completely new trunk sewer line of 54 kilometers on both sides of the river, from Naivasha roads all the way to Kariobangi through to Dadora.
Today, the rivers of Nairobi are no longer just symbols of neglect. They are becoming symbols of resilience, unity, and hope. The government's support is breathing new life into these young leaders, and in return, they are breathing new life into Nairobi rivers. Alvin Kaunda reporting for KBC Channel 1, Nairobi.
In Busia County, over 5,000 households are now benefiting from newly implemented water projects. The initiatives undertaken in Isongo and Bohahala villages in Marachi West Ward, as well as Busenda village in Matayo South Ward, have greatly addressed years of water shortage that often worsens during dry season. Residents say the water projects have not only improved health and overall quality of life, but also helped them save lots of money spent on purchasing water for domestic use and livestock.
We've saved a lot in terms of time, energy, and even money, because at times we had to buy water from vendors who passed by. So actually we really want to appreciate, we want to say we are very grateful to the county government for doing this project for us.
Saizi imetengenezwa, tumewekewa tiles, lakini hapo kitambo mvua ilikuwa ikinyesha, matope inajaa kwa maji. Ng'ombe pia zilikuwa zinaharibu, lakini kwa saizi iko sawa. Maji yako sawa, yanatoka mengi. Kitambo yalikuwa yanatoka kiasi.
Since when it was commissioned, I think it has served us well. We've not seen any challenges. The water is still so sufficient. In fact, it's serving a bigger community base than we expected. Since it was opened up, I think it was opened for everybody, because they have not been charging. So everybody coming all the way as far as Matayos town and above the Luanya side, they've been taking water from here.
Time for your business news now, and Bandari Maritime Academy is aligning training to global standards to empower Kenyans to secure income-generating opportunities globally. Bandari Maritime Academy CEO Dr. Eric Katana says plans are at an advanced stage for Kenya to start issuing the mandatory seafarers' identity documents.
The International Chamber of Shipping Seafarer Workforce Report 2021 estimates that by the year 2026, the global shipping industry will require an additional 89,510 officers to meet demand. Currently, about 1.89 million seafarers are employed across over 74,000 vessels operating globally.
Jambo muhimu zaidi ni wale ambao washapata kazi, tuhakikishe kwamba wanaweza baki kwa zile kazi. Kwa hivyo kuna ile document inaitwa Seafarer Identity Document, ambayo imekuwa kikwazo kikubwa sana kwa wale wanabaharia wameenda kule kufanya kazi kwa meli. Tumefikia advanced stages ya kuhakikisha kwamba hiyo document inakuwa issued hapa Kenya kwa all seafarers ambao wameenda kule.
Bandari Maritime Academy has signed agreements with countries such as Liberia, Jamaica, Panama and Malta, allowing Kenyans to secure the mandatory 1-year sea time required for certification.
Kama serikali hatuna meli ambayo inaenda kule baharini. Kwa hivyo tumebidi tuingie kamikakati na hizi nchi ambazo ziko na hizi meli nyingi, zimeregister meli nyingi, tuweze kupatia Wakenya kazi kwa hizi meli.
He says sea time is a major hurdle in training not only for Kenya but many countries, since vessels are not enough to train the seafarers.
Time for some sporting action, and having dominated the opening leg of the 2025 Challenger Series with a perfect 20 points, the Kenya Lionesses are determined to carry their winning momentum into the second leg. The team is eyeing another commanding performance to secure their place in the crucial third leg set for Krakow, Poland. The Kenyan Queens kick off their campaign this evening against Belgium before facing Uganda in the final group match later tonight. Head coach Dennis Mwanja exudes confidence, affirming that his squad is well prepared and ready to give their all. The top 8 teams from the first 2 rounds will advance to the Krakow leg on April 11th and 12th. From there, the top 4 will earn a spot in the high-stakes HSBC Sevens playoff in Los Angeles on May 3rd and 4th, where they will battle for promotion.
The field now, the Kenya Lionesses trying to go for that steal. Referee has an advantage out. Ball in play though. Keeping ball in hand. Now they look, they've got the numbers, they've got the overlap on the outside. Should they choose it? And they do. Naomi Amuguni, with just a few more meters to fight, and fight she did, striking back almost immediately. Defense is just grit and determination, that's all they say. Ciao. And they do. Naomi Amuguni, with just a few more meters to fight, and fight she did, striking back almost immediately. Defense is just grit and determination, that's all they say. Ciao. Back into the inside, Okomu. Grace Okolu now looking to get...
Our story definitely puts a halt on what you had lined up for you this afternoon. But remember, we continue to get and track more reactions in regards to just what we've seen earlier today at the Kenyatta International Convention Center with regards to the Raila and President William Ruto signing that memorandum of understanding termed as the UDA-ODM Pact. That coming much later in our various other subsequent bulletins. Nonetheless, thank you so much for sticking around from 1 p.m. up till now. We appreciate you and value that. This has been Lunchtime News. I'm Doreen Arange. Lucy Maura has been our sign language interpreter. Good afternoon.
Inua Jamii, karibu nawe kwa haraka na urahisi. Kwa sasa, malipo ya Inua Jamii yanapatikana moja kwa moja kupitia simu ya mkononi. Ikiwa wewe ni mmoja wa wanaopokea fedha hizi, hakikisha laini yako ina huduma ya pesa mkononi. Iwapo huna laini ya simu ya mkononi, tembelea duka la Safaricom au ajenti wa M-Pesa aliye karibu nawe ili usajiliwe kwa ada ya shilingi 100. Inua Jamii ni mradi wa fedha wa serikali unaolenga Wakenya walio na umri wa miaka 70 na zaidi, watoto yatima na watoto wanaoishi katika mazingira magumu, na watu wenye ulemavu sugu, kwa kuwapa malipo ya kila mwezi. Ujumbe huu umeletwa kwako kwa niaba ya Wizara ya Leba na Huduma za Jamii.
I asked her out. I asked her if she could be my girlfriend.
What did I do?
And she burst out laughing. She was like,
Burst out
what?
laughing. I was like, what?
We actually did a Mount Kenya hike when we were dating.
Yeah. I think all dating people should do Mount Kenya. You don't shower for 4 days.
5 days.
Yeah, 5 days. Like all manner of, pet thoughts, like everything.
When you're doing coffee, it's usually staged. It's managed. But now, when you're out there, like you're...
It was so intense. Everyone was like, I remember telling the girls, we are not engaged, me I can bounce like right now. We like to say that life has been generous with us, Yeah, so I think one of our hardest seasons in marriage was 2017. Literally what we suffered from was shattered dreams, because we came back with nothing.
Who's most likely to be the first to say, I'm sorry?
Fever in children can be very worrying, but do you know when to stay calm and when to seek medical attention?
A fever is a good sign. It is telling you that there's something going on in the body.
I prefer ginger, garlic, and honey. I boil and I give them the mixture.
Well, this week we speak to a pediatric emergency doctor.
I tell parents, especially of the young children, have your thermometer, have paracetamol.
How should a parent handle choking?
As much as you can, you need to stay calm and not be frantic so that you can be rational in how you think. As African mothers, covering our children with layers upon layers, this is a human being. The heat you're feeling is the heat they're feeling.
They are building both technologies and communities around assistive technology.
Having braille phrases that they can actually read, and then also having tactile prints that they are able to touch and feel, with their hands.
Nimekuwa for the longest time niko na passion ya fashion and design, so nimekuwa tu eager kujua, nataka kujifunza kushona nguo, nijue venye zinashona.
Mwezi wa Ramadhan unapoanza, basi Waislamu wameandaliwa mengi sana yanayopatikana kwa yule ambaye anafunga.
Ukifanya ibada inakuwa ni mudhaafa, ukifanya faradhi unalipwa zaidi, ukifanya sunna unalipwa zaidi. Mwezi mtukufu wa Ramadhan, mwezi una baraka, mwezi una khairi, una rahma na maghfira. Wewe utaki kufanya ibada, unalala tu katika Ramadhani, unazurura tu katika Ramadhani badala ya kusoma Qur'ani na kumsabihi Allah. Ni mwezi wa tilawatul Qur'an. Ya Rabb, ana abdak ya Rabb.
I'm Nazrin Wandamuliro, the current second runners-up of Miss Preaching Global. First and foremost, I use pageantry because it's my interest, and in the coming future, I would like to use it to inspire other children to be able to go on a global stage.
You know, one thing I love about books is that they come in all kinds of shapes, sizes, and colors. Look at my book today.
Today I'm going to show you guys how to make the simplest cinnamon pancakes at the comfort of your home.
My name is Tesu Angare, the Clubs Society leader in King David School. Today is the fun day.
It's fun and it's a good vibe.
Sawa.
Alex, kwani kuna shida?
Hata ni bahati dada alikuwa na accomplice.
Kwa hivyo babako ni muuaji. Next time usiniambie ujinga kama hauna evidence enough, sawa? Na huu mkora Alex alimtoa wapi? All I need ni pesa tu kiasi, niko chini. Toka!
Alex, sasa ni nini? Unajua hata kuna kitu nilikotaka tuongee. Lakini Jackie. Lakini naomba msamaha.
Ile kitu ningekufanyia wewe ungesahau.
Ni shetani. Na si umetaja hiyo jina sana. Na akikama hapa utadu.
Sasa kuna deal imeivana hapa, deal ya gold.
Bado hujaniambia kwa nini umeniita hapa.
Na kuna idea poa sana nataka kukuambia.
You know, there's one way we'll counter my uncle.
Which is?
Just get me pregnant, Alex.
Kai. Kamdingo kapienga.
This is life. Life is real. Life happens. We plan for things, but sometimes they don't go the way we want them to go.
So setbacks are part of life. We have no control of that sometimes, many times. Sometimes we do. Sometimes we can take precautions. Okay. But it will still happen to all of us.
Yeah.
Yes. So life will happen to all of us.
The shame of asking for help.
Yes.
Because sometimes even when someone commits suicide, you'll always hear people say, but yangesema.
You have so many voices. You're busy looking for solutions. And if you're not careful, you will look for solutions everywhere.
Elimu ni taa, gizani uzaga.
Elimu ni bahari isiyokauka zinge.
Karibu katika sanaa ya Kiswahili, bahari yenye kina kirefu.
Sote tumeandika, hii kweli ni balaa.
Bila shaka tunazama na tukiibuka vipaji, talanta mbalimbali ndani ya sanaa ya Kiswahili.
Nina neno kwa vijana, mihadarati na pombe, bila madhara mabaya.
Kuna bunge la mwanafunzi, uchambuzi wa vitabu na kulizamia swala zima la fasihi.
Mchimba shimo huingia mwenyewe.
Kwa hivyo unasoma dondoo, alafu unabaini ni fani gani ambayo tunajitokeza.
Ipate chemsha bongo bila tafadhali wala kibali.
Na si hayo tu mtazamaji.
Kumbuka, ni sanaa ya kipekee. Tuchangamkie Kiswahili,
tufurahie sanaa.
Good morning, good afternoon, actually, and thank you for joining us. This is Inside Government. We are live from Broadcasting House. My name is O'Brien Kimani, and this afternoon, we just want to have a great conversation around how to strengthen and streamline the built environment here in Kenya. I mean, when you look at this sector, it's such a critical industry in the socio-economic